everyone. My name is Sinead Box-Hamilton from the team here at Chartered Accountants Ireland, and I want to talk today a little about an upcoming event titled Cybersecurity Strategy for Accountants and Business Leaders. So it's going to be a half-day in-person session, and that's running on the 19th of April. And I'm delighted because we have two of our contributors here today to tell us a little bit more about it. So I am joined by Professor Kevin Powers, and he is the founder and director of the graduate program in cybersecurity at Boston College. And of course, then we have Dr. Caroline McGrory joining us as well, a chartered accountant, a lecturer in accounting at Dublin City University, and a Fulbright scholar in cybersecurity at Boston College. So both Kevin and Caroline, and in collaboration, I suppose, with the Institute and a number of industry partners, they're going to deliver the event. So thank you so much, guys, for coming along to chat. I'm keen to showcase just a brief taster, a summary, I suppose, of what it's all about. So no time like the present, guys. I'll come to you maybe first, Kevin. Thanks again for coming along. And will you tell us a little bit about the event and I suppose why it's important as well?
Sure, and thanks for having me, and my pleasure to be here. So what our focus is that cybersecurity is not a technical matter. It's not a technical issue. And in fact, cybersecurity is a financial risk, business risk matter that needs to be run from the top down, meaning from the board of directors down through the C-suite across the enterprise. So that's the whole theme of our presentation in our course that we're doing with chartered accountants. And it's really focused on the role of the chief financial officer, the financial director, and the auditor. You know, what's their role in cybersecurity? And through our talks and lectures and practical panel discussions with experts in the field, we're going to really hone it down and focus on this is what you need to understand. And really, for the chief financial officer or financial directors, this is what they do. They manage risk. You know, they deal with finance. It's in their title, right? And when you look at making the business case for investment on cybersecurity, you really need someone who can communicate with the board of directors, communicate with the C-suite, and say, hey, listen, if we do not invest properly in cybersecurity, one, you know, there is a ransomware attack every 11 seconds. And the cost of a data breach for the average company is $4.35 million US. And if we don't act here, we could be in trouble, not only with, you know, our shareholders or our business, you know, in general operations, but also with the regulatory bodies that enforce and oversee us.
Wow, some of those numbers there are staggering and scary indeed. So people need to pay attention for sure. Kevin, content-wise, what are we covering during that event then?
Sure. Oh, well, we're going to kick off really first off, what's the role and responsibilities of the chief financial officer and the senior financial director, and also touching upon consultants as well. We're going to look at the different regulations, not just, you know, in the United States. We're going to look what's going on in Europe and globally, and really the pressure now on boards of directors and senior management to take an active role in cybersecurity. Then we're going to talk a bit, and I know Dr. Caroline McGrory, what she's going to look at and discuss is really cybersecurity for that chief financial officer, okay, or the finance director and the auditor. And this is what comes from her, not only as a professor or an academic, but also someone who's a practitioner in the field. And then we're going to take a look at incident response, how you build an incident response plan in a program and why that's important to a business. And then finally, we're going to look at data privacy and really the role and responsibilities of data mapping, data assessments, and things along those lines. So, you know, really for the chief financial officer, senior financial director, this course is, you know, timely and much needed because this is coming to them. And if they don't focus on this now, this could really be very harmful for their business operations, and then they're out of a job.
Absolutely. And there's so much packed in there, which is fabulous, Kevin. And maybe I'll come to you now, Karen, because I'm interested to know your views, I suppose, as a chartered accountant. Do you see the profession playing an important, you know, role in this field of cybersecurity?
Absolutely, Sinead. And again, thanks for having us. As Kevin mentioned, if you even look at, you know, at a very, I suppose at the very highest level and the role of the accountant in the organization. And there is so much talk at the minute around the quantification of cyber risk. And it's a really, really hard thing to get, I suppose, a handle on. So the accountant has really important skills in this area. So they need to work in collaboration with the various ID departments in the organization. But as I said, accountants have really really important skills here. And that quantification of cyber risk is really, really key. And I said that is something that Kevin will be touching on within the program as well, which I think is really important. Also looking at, and said he's mentioned it as well, is looking at the role of the board. And if we look at so many CEOs as well in Ireland, so many of them are accountants. And then we're obviously looking at CFOs as well, and obviously business leaders, finance directors. They have a really important role, and in particular bringing it back to the CEO and the CFO again, they have an important role making sure that at the board level that this is getting the appropriate attention. There is no doubt that over the last number of years, it is a really important issue for boards now, but to make sure that in, say, in smaller organizations, that it is getting enough attention. And equally because, again, if we look at the role of a CFO, if they understand it better, proper financial resources there and invested, and to make sure that companies are actually safeguarded properly as regards the cyber risks that their companies face. And then looking at the accountancy profession as a whole, as we know, we have really important roles, you know, across different business lines. But if we look at it from a reporting perspective and look at the level of experience that we have in the area of financial reporting, now sustainability reporting, cybersecurity reporting is incredibly important. And like over my last year in Boston College, and said as part of Kevin's programs, we would have got a lot of exposure to the type of reporting that happens in the US, and looking at the new SEC regulations and the requirements for actually proper reporting around things like, you know, say boards expertise, and again this quantification piece of cyber risk, and making sure that it is managed properly within companies. But while it is happening, in some organizations that I've looked at, a number of Irish companies, and looking at the level of reporting is there, the variation in the quality of reporting and the extent of the reporting. As said, we have come so far with, if we look at sustainability reporting 10 years ago, it's not where it is now, and it's very like it's going the same direction for cybersecurity reporting. And because as a profession we have so much experience in this area, I think that we are going to play a very important role going forward. And again, if we look at even the accountancy profession in the US, they have already a cybersecurity reporting framework, and it's something that we can learn from, as said, you know, being in Europe. So there's there's a huge role for the accountancy profession as a whole, but then obviously all the individual bodies. And then coming back to the education piece, and this is why it's amazing to see collaborations between Chartered Accountants Ireland and institutions like Boston College. There is so much need for education in this space, and it's not only at the CPD level, you know, for experts in the area, but it's really encouraging to see Chartered Accountants Ireland bringing this in. You know, it's in their future plans to bring it in at the trainee accountant level. So I think that education piece is something that's really important, because as I said, we're involved in so many different aspects of business, and it's like Kevin has given some of the statistics there as to why this is so important. So that's why I believe we have a really important role as a profession in the field of cybersecurity.
Caroline, it sounds like one that folks should not miss. So I'm going to round things up, because as I say, today is a teaser, but why should people attend? You know, why should accountants attend? Why should business leaders attend?
Yeah, so again, just drawing back on the points that Kevin was mentioning, you know, it's this program, it is being delivered in collaboration with other industry partners as well. So for, like, obviously we have Boston College with Chartered Accountants Ireland, but then we have people from PwC, Rapid7, the National Cybersecurity Centre, and then cybersecurity companies such as Securitas and Ansekia. There is so much expertise in that room that for any business leader, for any accountant, that is, you know, like, and it is important for everybody. I genuinely think it's an event not to be missed, because you are going to learn so many things in terms of what you can bring back to your own organization, in terms of better understanding the cyber risks, and then how to safeguard against these risks. And as Kevin mentioned, he's doing things like instant response planning, and how you deal with that. Like these skills and access to that level of expertise, I just think it's it'll be hugely beneficial.
To follow up on what Caroline said on why people should attend our course here, really, when you look at cybersecurity strategy and governance now, you know, prior, it used to be you should be following best practices, and boards of directors and senior management should be taking an active role in building out a cyber strategy. That's no longer the case. It is now you shall. If you look at the regulations coming out and the laws, not only here in the United States, but globally, specifically in the EU and in Ireland, they need to come to this course, because if they don't, they're not going to understand their roles and responsibilities. Again, it's no longer you should, it's you shall. So I hope to see everyone there on the 19th.
Caroline, Kevin, thank you so much for that overview. Really, really interesting to get that teaser, and a fabulous topical event by the sounds of it, and definitely one not to be missed. So folks tuning in, we do hope you can join us. So that's on the 19th of April in CA House in Dublin. So see you there, and thanks everyone for watching, and thank you Caroline and Kevin again.